Welcome back, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for another explainer. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're exploring some truly hidden movie magic. I'm talking about the kind of invisible post-production trickery that you've probably heard 1,000 times without ever actually realizing it. We're looking at the art of re-recording dialogue, which is a process that quite literally saves countless films from total disaster. Get ready because you are never going to listen to your favorite movies the same way again.
Section 1. The audio nightmare, when the perfect take goes wrong. So put yourself in the shoes of a film director for just a second. You're out on location, right? It's the final hour of daylight and the pressure is totally on. You call action and your lead actor delivers the most heartbreaking, emotionally devastating, absolute perfect take of the entire production. It's pure cinema magic happening right there in front of the lens. But then, disaster strikes. You walk back to the monitor, pop your headphones on to review the take, and you look at the audio waveform. Right over the actor's most crucial, quiet, tear-jerking line of dialogue, a massive 747 airplane roars overhead. The actor's incredible performance is entirely masked by this incredibly loud, vibrating hum of jet engines. It is sheer agony. The visual is flawless, but the audio, it's completely unusable. Which brings us to the ultimate million-dollar question. Do you reshoot the entire scene? Think about the sheer cost of that. Think about the perfect lighting that you've already lost. Think about trying to force that actor to capture lightning in a bottle twice. Usually, the answer is a resounding no. Instead, professional filmmakers rely on a covert, behind-the-scenes studio technique to literally save the day, keeping the visual of that perfect take, but replacing the sound entirely. Section 2. What is ADR? Fixing dialogue without reshooting. Now, what's really interesting about this is ADR stands for Automated Dialogue Replacement. It's a process where actors return to a super quiet recording studio, watch the original scene, and perform their dialogue again. They're essentially replacing that unusable production audio. The wild irony here, almost nothing about this highly technical, deeply emotional process is actually automated, like at all. It is an incredibly manual, intensely human art form of reperformance. And airplanes aren't the only culprits. Filmmakers are constantly battling things like heavy wind completely masking dialogue on a mountaintop, loud city traffic, uncontrollable crowds, or, mysterious microphone failures. Sometimes, in the heat of the moment, an actor just mumbles a crucial line. And sometimes it's not even a mistake. Directors might rewrite a line of the script months after filming wraps just to clarify the plot. Or they might be creating entirely different language versions for international audiences. ADR is the absolute ultimate safety net for all of these scenarios. It basically gives filmmakers a second chance to capture pristine, clean dialogue without the impossible nightmare of reshooting the scene.
Section 3, the 6-step process, inside the ADR studio.
Okay, so how does it actually work? Well, the actor steps into a quiet, heavily padded studio and stares at a large screen. First, they watch the original scene just to get back into that headspace. Next, they listen to the original, noisy production dialogue through their headphones. Then comes the cue, 3 short, quick beeps to give the actor the exact rhythm and timing. And they record the new performance, matching their original cadence as closely as humanly possible. From there, the audio editor takes over. They meticulously synchronize that new recording to the actor's lip movements on screen. And finally, blend that crisp new studio audio with the background ambience of the film so it doesn't sound totally disconnected.
Section 4, matching the performance beyond just clean audio. So the crucial point is this. Getting a clean, noise-free recording of the actor's voice is really only half the battle. If that clean audio doesn't perfectly match the original physical acting we see on screen, our brains will instantly reject it. To be believable, the actor has to flawlessly match a massive list of variables: the emotion, the physical energy, the exact speaking speed, and of course, the precise lip movements. Just imagine an actor screaming on a chaotic, freezing battlefield during filming, right? And then trying to recreate that exact same tense, shivering, adrenaline-fueled voice while standing in a comfortable, air-conditioned studio in Los Angeles holding a cup of coffee 6 months later. It is a monumental acting challenge. They have to completely recreate their original physical and emotional state, otherwise the new track is going to feel entirely fake. I mean, if they just ran up a hill in the scene, they literally need to match that heavy breathing in the studio.
It really all boils down to one golden rule. Match the performance, not just the words. ADR is not about just reading a script. ADR is reacting. If the performance doesn't match the visual, all the clean audio in the world won't save your scene. Section 5. The art of blending, making the studio sound like reality. Once that performance is captured perfectly, the baton passes to the audio editor. Why? Because beautiful, isolated studio vocals sound completely wrong when you just drop them straight into a film. They sound dead, padded, and totally sterile. Editors have to weave in environmental elements to really ground the sound. They add what's called room tone, which is essentially the natural, quiet resting sound of a specific location, or ambience like distant traffic or rustling leaves. They use equalization to adjust the frequencies of the voice, and they add location-matched reverb to mimic the natural echo of the space. Through this meticulous process, they can manipulate a sterile indoor recording until it convincingly sounds like it's echoing down a massive concrete hallway or sweeping across a windy mountain peak. It's honestly brilliant.
And this brilliantly illustrates why clean audio alone simply isn't enough. The difference between amateur and professional ADR is staggering. Rookie mistakes are incredibly jarring. You'll hear flat emotion that doesn't match the face on screen, poor lip sync that makes it look like a badly dubbed foreign film, and that dreaded studio silence, where the background noise of the real world magically just drops away when the character speaks. But professional ADR, it is an invisible, seamless magic trick. The emotion matches flawlessly, the lip sync is accurate down to the millisecond, and natural ambiance wraps perfectly around the dialogue.
Hundreds. That is a very surprising industry secret. Many of the biggest, most critically acclaimed, award-winning films you have ever seen contain literally hundreds of ADR lines. In fact, in some blockbuster action movies, over 80% of the dialogue you hear in theaters was actually recorded in a studio months after the camera stopped rolling. 80%! And yet, you sit there in the dark, eating your popcorn, completely unaware. Because when ADR is done right, it sounds exactly like it was captured perfectly, flawlessly, right on set. So, I want to leave you with this question to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. The next time you sit down to watch your absolute favorite film, will you be able to spot this invisible art of ADR? Will you catch a line where the lips are just slightly off, or the acoustic space feels just a tiny bit too clean? Or will you just be swept away by the illusion, hearing nothing but a perfectly constructed audio mix? It really makes you appreciate the invisible heroes of post-production, doesn't it? And speaking of a perfect audio mix, this sets us up brilliantly for our next deep dive, where we're going to be exploring the full, fascinating world of audio mixing. But until then, keep your ears open, and thanks for exploring the magic of sound with me.